Tonight, I'll be talking about money or passion. Welcome to Rethink Life with Doyin. My name is Doyin. I'm a psych nurse practitioner. When it comes to opening your business, right, your vision, for example, my vision of opening my practice, your vision of opening your practice, it looks very different, right? Money or passion, which one is the motivation? And which, there's nothing wrong with if money is the motivation, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And if passion is the motivation, there's nothing wrong with that. But one of them, right? There's some pros and cons to this thing. There's some pros and cons to this thing, and I'll explain to you guys tonight. What drives each person when it comes to opening your business, aside from just say, hey, I want to open business, or, I want to, because I want to make money, or I want to feed my family and children, because when it comes to the opening of the business, depending on how, what kind of business you decide to open, right? The one that I'm focusing more on is opening a bigger corporation. That's my focus. I want us to be, to think larger, to think bigger than what we would ever think or imagine. Whether you're opening a side business or you're not, it's still a business, and it will get to a stage that it might be very, very time consuming. And it can be frustrating at times. When I was speaking to one of my patients, I really, really love what this person said. And they were like, I was like explaining what I do. And I was like, I help people discover their purpose and this and that. And the patient was like, very young, right? Gen Z, I love them. I really do. I consider myself as one, okay? I really do. I love them. They're so, innovative in their thinking. It was like, you help people discover their thing. And I'm like, yeah. Like, what is your thing? What is your thing? And discovering your thing is going to drive you. And if money is the motivation, don't get it wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Making a living, that is absolutely great to have that as your motivation. But one of them, when the tough gets going, one of them is going to push you further. One of them is going to you're going to work tirelessly, right? Because think about it, right? If there is something you want to solve, purpose has to do with it's something that literally drives you. It aggravates you. Yeah, it will. It does aggravate you. It makes you very angry. But at the same time, because it makes you angry, you're also very passionate about it. So you are, when it comes to purpose, you are trying to solve that issue in the world. And alongside, when I say discover your niche, it's what I'm trying to do is not just you going to, let's say, volunteer or change the world. That's not, you're not just doing that. When I say discovering your niche, it allows you to be able to make money. So in this case, your niche is going to fuel. It's an area whereby you're gifted at. No one else can do that but you. And it makes you stand out. So even if you're like, for example, you may be working with others at the office, but when you discover your niche, right? Everybody has what it is. And it's not psychiatry for everyone. Like, for example, my own thing has to do with, of course, I love to talk to people. I love to listen. I love to hear people, and I want to help them change their perspectives. My thing also has to do with discovering, right, for younger adults to be able to, like, for example, discover what it is, the career path. I've done it for many people, and it's so like they're alarmed when I do it, because literally I've even used like AI to suggest, and they're like, wow, dang, this is pretty good. So this is something that I do. I help you discover what is your thing, what area of life, right, you will best thrive. That's really going to drive you. And money, yes, money can be the motivation, but when your passion and your purpose, when you discover that, right, you do need money to fuel it. So your niche, right, your thing is going to fuel, right? Whatever that thing is for you will help you make more money. Imagine if you're someone that loves fashion, right? And that is your thing. So attach that to your business. And it looks very different. It's not just about, fashion. There's a lot that comes into play when it comes to fashion. Somebody else, it could be the feet, right? Or they like to wear heels, and it's their thing. Like they know about all the stylists, all the whatever. That's their thing. Somebody else is cleaning the house. Somebody else is putting things together in the home. That's their thing. Attach that to your business. Attach that to your social media content. And that's going to make you stand out from the rest. It can apply to a young adult, right, and high school students that needs to go to college and they need to figure out what it is they want to do for their life. It can apply to your business foundation. It can apply to, understanding who you are and how you want to expand your business. So that question, it's literally also what I use for my interviews whenever, like right now, in my practice, I'm doing 2 people's job, like 2.5 people's job, right? As an NP. And I'm just 1 year in, I need to expand, right? Not just expand, I need to hire. And then eventually the expansion is also in the process. I will be hiring admin staff to help me. I also just recently hired another assistant. My assistant needed an assistant. So we're at that point. And, even right now as I'm coaching, I don't want to take on too many people. I have a course that I'm creating right now, and I don't want to take on too much because, you don't want to over bombard yourself. So I have someone that's also might have a brand manager. I do have someone that is involved in branding me, right? Branding my business, branding the practice. That is also part of the things that you have to do if you want to be that success, that person, that, it's not just about opening your business now. You are now becoming, you will be the talk of, when it comes to psychiatry. So that's something that I'm doing, and that's what I'm hoping that others will, if you have that same vision, if that's what you're inspired to do. I never knew that I'll be doing this whole show thing, literally, or even doing PMHNP. The drive force started just with wanting to change people's mindset. And as life would have it, it brought me this path. I know one of the questions that someone asked me before is, do they need to have multiple state licenses? Suggested by another provider as well, I would say 1 to 2. Try to go to 1 to 2. Don't do too much. Pick states that are easy, that are, you want to learn the ropes. Don't overwhelm with yourself. If you have one state that is a little complicated, then pick one that is not so complicated. If you can avoid the complicated states, go to the complicated state later on. So to be or not to be, that's the question, right? Most of us, do we want to be an individual or do we want to open a business? If you know that, money is the motivation, I would suggest to you, work, do some part-time jobs, and just have literally just have your business, maybe open 2 days. Don't do too much, right? That's the ideal thing. Money is the motivation, work for multiple companies. If that's really the driving force. But if that's not the driving force, because like I said, let me tell you about the pros and cons, right? So passion, right? When it comes to motivation, it's normally passion for personal interest, right? Or it could be a desire for self-improvement. It could also be, we also have the extrinsic motivation, which has to do with, maybe some kind of rewards or recognition in society. It also can be social influence or, your expectations of that. So what I want, when it comes to goals or influence and motivation, we have the short term and we have the long term. So if, for example, the role of ambition, right, it has to do with economic factors, right? Or because maybe your friend was doing it, you also wanted to do it. That would be like social pressure. Sometimes people, the things that stop them or the obstacles that they face would have to do with maybe they're fearful of failure, right? So we have some barriers that will prohibit us from attaining our goals. It is very important that if you want to open your business, make sure you have clarity on your vision. Extremely important. Visualize yourself. How do I want to show up? What kind of life, literally, like envision, make the life you want to live. Don't let the money be the only motivation, because trust me, if the money is the only motivation, there will come a time you won't even care about that money. Okay? You're going to be like, I want to live life. So that's what you're going to want. You don't want the money to be the motivation. If money is the motivation, it would help you for a short while. But later on, when it gets tough, especially with the business, you're going to be like, yeah, this is too much. It's not worth it. Or whenever I'm doing my videos, I ask the question, what is the reason anyone wants to open a business? Because it gets to a point, it will be very exhausting. It will be. And you need to know what is the reason why I'm doing this, right? Why am I doing this? What is the reason? What do I want to get out of it? My vision of creating something bigger is not because I really want to create something bigger. I will explain to you how I came about that. What is the driving force for me? And I want you to think about that for yourself. People often say, I want to live my life. I don't want to work, right? I want to be the boss. That's what people say. Oh, I want to make money. I want to make my own. I want to have flexibility. I want to be my own boss. That's what people say. There are many other things that people would say. And that's something that I want to live, right? For me, the way I envision my life, I just probably want to work, 3 hours. I don't mind doing the managerial part, talking to clients, helping wherever I'm hiring, helping them, to make sure the day-to-day activities are going adequately. That's what I want to do when it comes to a business, right? That managerial part. So that's really what I enjoy. I don't mind, going now, talking, or maybe that part, I can have someone do that, but I don't mind, literally like what I'm doing right now, inspiring the world, going out to speak and all that stuff. That's what I really want to do. So that I want to live in my purpose. When it comes to you, what I'm trying to say to you is envision, like that is the driving factor for me, which is causing me to then, life is causing me to create those avenues and to create a bigger vision and to expand. If I want to do that, I can't do that with just having myself work. I can't do that. It's that I'm going to make half the living, but I'm still going to be working full time. So you see what I'm trying to say when it comes to your vision. So this is why you need clarity. Clarity is extremely important before you can start anything. Have a clear vision of exactly what you want to accomplish. If you think I know what I want to do, no, don't think you know what you want to do. And these are the questions that I ask when it comes to discovering your niche, what is your thing, right? Discovering what is your thing and what is something you're passionate and you want to solve for life. This is really what niche and purpose is. If you are someone that procrastinates, oh Lord, that's gonna be tough, okay? There's a quote that says, it's either you get disciplined or life disciplines you. Yeah. You want to get disciplined, okay? Because if you're not disciplined, especially when you have even when you have a small business, if you're not disciplined, oh my goodness, you will be disciplined. Patience will discipline you too. You also want to make sure you have boundaries. Very important. Very, very important, because you need to be able to recuperate. So boundaries, being assertive, by the same time, making sure you're paying attention to the patient. I know you guys are very, very into, you know about this already, but I wouldn't go too much into that. Now, when we have negative mindset, that's going to be tested when we open our business. So it's not about just being positive, right? To my patients, it's not just, what are you, mindset is very interesting. It's mindset, right? It's really funny. One of them is you can either have, if you have negative mindset or you have a positive mindset, it does not make a difference. It does not make a difference as to what's going to happen. What's going to happen is going to happen. It doesn't necessarily mean it will align with the positive. It does not mean it will align with the negative. But one of them is going to allow you to come from a place of strength. So having a positive mindset will allow you to come from a place of strength to be able to tackle the matter, versus coming from a place of low. It's very difficult, right? It takes extra work to be able to target that matter. So it's very important that, whether, don't stay on the negative, like literally be a person of action. Be a person of action. Don't be focused on, it's not gonna work. No. Okay, I recognize the issue. I see it. I identify, I recognize it. All right, so what are we gonna do about it? So be a person of action. Don't focus on the problem, because in business, I remember when I first began, oh my God, my phones weren't working. I had to call and I had paid, it was just a lot of things. And I used to freak out. I'm like, oh my God, even when Google wasn't working for me, I was like, oh my God, it's saying addiction services. And I was so fearful. I was getting clients still, right? But it was just, I was afraid that I was not going to get exposure again. I was like, yo, I'm getting patients, but where are they coming from? I don't see them coming from Google. I know I could ask the patient, and I was asking the patients. I think I was getting patients from probably psychology today, probably from just random, searches, but it was just that the Google was not working. So I was wondering where they're coming from. And that really was fearful. So you don't want to go, and I like I said, I was still getting patients, and it's not to brag, nothing, but I was. But you really want to understand where are your patients coming from? Not just where are they coming from, but, the frequency. What are you changing? You don't just Don't just create profiles, whatever profiles you have. Don't just create profiles and leave it, because you gotta don't leave your profiles, or just don't be like, oh, it's already there. Do it. No, don't do that. Whenever a patient tells you, oh my God, you're doing wow, thank you so much for the way you made me feel, or, thank you for whatever, whenever they give you compliments, go ahead and ask the patient, oh, would you like to leave me a review? Don't, even if it's on the first visit, ask, right? Worst case scenario, they won't do it. Whether they leave good or bad reviews, make sure you always, say something. Thank you for that information, or thank you for whatever. Just put something there, because number one, you don't have to put it like you're signing it. Like I do mine, it's literally management, right? My management is doing that. I'm the management, okay? But I'm doing it. So that's something. But again, you want to acknowledge, you don't have to go in depth, but you want to acknowledge every little things, whether the patient, even when a patient is leaving you, wrap it up respectfully. Money, as the motivation. Money can provide a sense of security and also freedom, enabling individuals to invest in opportunities that enhance their success, right? So performance incentives. So in this case, you can be in a competitive environment, right? Monetary rewards can stimulate high performance and productivity. However, when money is the motivation, guess what? It can be short-lived. That's the problem. It's short-lived motivation. How far, yes, money is the motivation, but when is it ever enough? If money is what gives us fulfillment, then don't get it wrong, it adds to it. Oh, it's really good. Don't get it wrong. But if it's really what gives everybody fulfillment for life, then people that are rich wouldn't, technically be killing themselves, right? So again, short-lived motivation. The excitement of financial rewards can diminish over time, right? People that make money, they make money. But when you make money and you attach it with purpose, or you attach it with something you're passionate about, that's the ultimate. That's where you want to be. And that's what I'm trying to help us discover. So when it comes to money being the motivation, right, there's stress and pressure. You're focusing solely on money. It can create stress and pressure, potentially leading to burnout, right? Or dissatisfaction. There's also could be lack of fulfillment. Like I mentioned, you're pursuing money without a sense of purpose. It can result in an unfulfilling career, right? And it can lead to you being, disengaged, and you will have decreased motivation over time. Like, let's think about it, right? We're nurses. I'm sure we've all made money, right? At one point we made money or this money, but does it give you that satisfaction? Does it give you that? Do you feel calm? Do you feel happy with it? Yeah, you're making the money, but the stress that comes with it it's a killer. Now, when purpose, right, or passion is your motivation, number one, you will have intrinsic satisfaction. So in this case, you have a clear sense of purpose, and it can lead to deeper fulfillment and satisfaction in one's work, right? Which then fosters long-term commitment and also motivation. Resilience. Oh, this is the part. This is beautiful. Purpose-driven individuals often exhibit goals greater in resilience in facing challenges as their work aligns with their values and beliefs. Absolutely. You're resilient. You don't want to fail because you're passionate and it's your drive. You don't get the answer today. You're going to go ahead and ask, how can I get it done? Doesn't matter at what length you have to go. You will go ahead and trust me, that's really, you need that in business. You need that resilient spirit. You need it. Also, inspiring others, right? Purpose as a motivation. You have a strong sense of purpose and you can inspire and motivate others, right? Creating a positive influence in teams and organization. Absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing here. So isn't it crazy, right? That's also what I'm doing now. So again, you're creating a positive influence in teams and organization. And I want you guys, literally, wherever I'm hiring, right, in my practice, the way I want it to be is the way I want my business to be. I want to create other leaders. It's not just about someone working for me and then, I keep them under the rack. No, we're not doing that. So we want to create more leaders. And that's what it is. That's really what life is supposed to be. That way we can change the world. It starts with us being in our purpose, being in our niche, being in something that is our thing. And we find we love, we enjoy, we can make money from it. And it's not just, I'm sure some of you may know what your thing is, but trust me, When I do this thing with you, when I do my analysis, it's bigger than, oh, I just love art. It's bigger than that. It's not like, oh, I like art, or, you know, I'm in music. I'm all about music. No, it's different. It really ties into the life, your whole being, your life and everything. It really ties into that. So it's not just one angle of passion. It's literally, you know, because you don't want to be passionate at something and then you're like, your life is not, you know, you're not able to live the life you want. You want to be passionate, live the life you want, make the money and all that stuff. Now, let me talk about it. There are some cons when it comes to purpose being the motivation. So let's talk about it. So 1, financial constraints. Okay. Pursuing a purpose may not always lead to financial stability if the chosen path is not lucrative. And that's why I'm telling you, you want to know what is your purpose. You got to know what the right one is. You got to know. That's why I tell you, one thing I discovered right through this journey is not just about the purpose. You got to discover your niche. When you discover your niche, when you discover your thing, then you attach it to the purpose. Your thing is going to pay initially for the purpose. Then later on, your purpose will pay for, we'll do the reverse. Longer path to success, right? It's tedious, right? You know, it can be tedious. Achieving success driven by purpose may take longer and may require persistence, especially in competitive fields. But remember what I tell you guys, there is no competition. When you discover what it is, that thing, what that thing that makes you stand out, there is no competition. No one can do what I'm doing right now. Everybody does their thing very differently, and everybody has their thing. Somebody else, the way they will speak about this topic, you know, is gonna be different. Somebody else, you know, maybe they're doing artwork and they're, you know, more of like showing you in a painting to describe exactly what they're trying to say. Now, another thing. Potential. There could be a potential for misalignment, right? If one's purpose is not well defined or aligned with the market needs, it may lead to frustration if goals are not met. But I'm not the only one that's saying this thing. There's another lady that's also on YouTube. She's also a psychiatrist, MD. And she says there's a disconnect when it comes to you finding your patients, right? And your patients finding us. And I've created some videos to help us to be able to, you know, tap into ways we can fix that issue. You don't want there to be misalignment when it comes to discovering your purpose. You may think it's teaching children, but you may not necessarily be in the right industry. So in conclusion, right, the most successful approach often involves a balance between both money and purpose. So while financial motivations can drive initial efforts and provide necessary resources, a sense of purpose can sustain long-term commitment and fulfillment. Those who find a way to align their financial goals with their personal values. When we do this analysis, you discover your purpose, you discover your niche, you also understand your values. And that's why I tell you that when you open your business, it is an extension of you. Your core values, it is an extension of you. So what are your values? Remember? And I told you, everybody you hire, right? They don't have to all have those, you know, those core values, but they gotta have some things that are core. Okay, you don't want to, if you say integrity is your core value, right? You want to make sure that the person you hire is also someone that is, that has integrity. Some people will tell you this book, they will give you the big vocabularies, but the way they carry out things, the integrity is not there. Okay, so you want to be able to pinpoint that very quickly, so you don't choose wrong. Many things can hold us back from achieving our goals, but just understand, with opening your successful business, don't let distractions, external pressures, burnout, lack of accountability, inflexibility, you don't want that, limited resources. There's no one way to open your successful business, right? You got to know what is your way, what is your thing, what is that thing you're passionate about. And that is where I come in, and that's what I do. I have provided some insights previously. In the previous video, I provided some insights on some little things when it comes to opening your successful business. Very, 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 very important. Don't just go ahead and open up your business and choose, I want to do a virtual business, or don't limit yourself. But if that's your vision, again, I don't force anyone, but really be honest with yourself and just answer the question of what it is that you want for your life, and then wrap your business around that. That's really what's going to give you joy. And it's going to give you fulfillment for life. So don't negotiate. Don't negotiate. Don't, this is your vision. Right? I remember one of the offices that I used, they're like, oh, why don't you come get an office here? And I'm like, I told the lady, I'm like, I'm good. I'm thankful that this is what I want. This is the life that I want for myself, and I'm making sure I stick to it. Again, my name is Doyin. I'm a psych nurse practitioner at UBridge Health, the founder and CEO, and also the TV talk show host for Rethink Life with Doyin. I may talk about next time on the steps, like just some brief steps of what to do, which most of you do know, but this will be general information. But if you want it tailored to you, that's, like I said, that's where the coaching comes in. But again, it's not really about that. It's just about sharing the information to you guys and helping you. Okay? Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. Once again, my name is Doyin, psych nurse practitioner. Happy to have you here. We'll see you soon. Rethink Life with Doyin and at UBridge Health. You can follow me anywhere. I'll be there. Thank you. Bye-bye.